Congratulations, North Survival, on having more than 30,000 subscribers. You have an awesome channel. It's one of my favorites. This is a video response to your challenge to create a survival shelter. The survival shelter that I'm using is one that works very well in tropical and semi-tropical climates. It is simply using your poncho, your rain poncho, as a shelter. I'm using a military rain poncho, making a Hooch shelter. And in this case, it's near some debris, and I put some debris over it. I've not used it yet, so you're going to see how successful it is, what happens during the night. Do the insects attack me? What exactly happens? I built this at the edge of a swamp where there are many animals. I'm watching the birds and listening to all sorts of creatures crawl around. And in fact, there's a big hole not far from where the shelter is set up. And maybe if we're lucky, the animal that lives there will come wandering through and I'll have a chance to see it, or maybe it'll be caught on the cameras. This is one of my favorite places to hike. The swamps are over there and the higher ground's on this side. Most people walk along the grassy areas, but don't go into the swamp. I'm seeing a place right here that looks pretty good to spend the night. I'm going to case it out. Look at it right over here. There are some logs, some debris, and I can camp among that debris and not be noticed. Yeah, this looks really good down here. I'll set up my shelter right in here below the logs, and I'll do that at dusk so nobody notices. The Spanish moss will make the ground a little bit softer. Oh yeah. This is going to be as good as my bed at home. If you look closely, you can see that the hood of the poncho has been tied together, and there is cordage then that raises it up to a branch up above. The total height of the shelter is about 1.5 to 2 feet high, and so its low profile keeps it hidden and therefore safe. I wonder who lives in that hole down there. It's only a few feet from my shelter over here, and so maybe I'll be fortunate to see that guy tonight. Well, I'm going to enjoy the day a little bit. The wildlife around here are awesome. Birds are everywhere, especially down in the swampy area. Surprisingly, it's pretty comfortable in here, thanks to the Spanish moss, the soft ground, and then also the sleeping bag. I'm not sleeping in the sleeping bag, but rather on top of it as extra padding. There's not very much headroom. In fact, the poncho essentially is right on my head, and then the branches above that. It creates a feeling of security, though, to have all of this touching me. I feel pretty safe down here. Now, I don't know if the red light will show through the poncho and can be picked up on the outside. I'll check the infrared camera and see what it shows. Anyway, it feels comfortable and relaxing, and I'm about ready to fall asleep. Although I do hear a few strange sounds out there. There's some animals moving around. Maybe you'll hear them when I'm sleeping. I'm going to leave the recorder on so that it'll pick up some of the more interesting sounds. I'll play them back. See you guys in the morning. Good morning. I slept pretty well, considering this shelter's a little tight. Bugs didn't bite me or anything like that. The crows woke me up. I slept pretty well. It didn't get cold last night, so it was pretty good. Well, let's see if I can turn around and see what's outside here. I don't think the birds know I'm here. It's amazing the way it sounds. It's like they're walking right on top of me. I'm in their secret place and they don't know it. The brush pile looks just about the same as when I got here. I don't think I've left any trace that I spent the night. So I'm going to go down over into the swamp area and see what's down here. This is a game trail. I know there are large populations of deer here. I saw quite a few last night and then heard them walking around. Here you can see some of their prints right there. And also somebody's been eating freshwater mussels. You can see that they've been opened up right here. Too bad I didn't have a game camera set up in this spot. Maybe another day. But the deer walk all along the edge. And of course, this little area is filled with alligators too. This is a good spot for breakfast. If you haven't tried it before, Mountain House makes a really good granola with milk and blueberries, and you just need to add water. I find it's great for stilts camping. I use half a package at a time because it's good because I don't need to heat anything. I can eat it away from where I'm camping that night. It's really good. I've had a lot of fun this weekend. This was my first time to use a poncho as a shelter, to make a poncho hooch shelter. And a poncho is something that you always carry with you in a tropical or semi-tropical climate. And so to use it as a shelter is very simple and very practical. I found it easy to set up. I stayed dry during the night. Even though it was very humid last night, I stayed dry and I stayed comfortable. Being so close to the ground and so close to the shelter, I felt safe. And it was truly amazing to hear the animals right on top of the shelter talking and walking around you without them knowing that you are there. Something that I would remember and remind people to do is that if it's later in the year, you will want more bug protection than I used. Now this is winter here and we don't have very many biting insects right now or biting creatures. But later in the year I would use some sort of bug screen if you're using this type of shelter. Other than that, it worked really well. And it's easy to carry in my day pack. And that's the best thing. It doesn't take any space, it's just what you normally have, and so it works well. North Survival, this is a message to you. Congratulations on 30,000 subscribers. And I am submitting this practice exercise for my upcoming stealth film to your 30,000 subscriber contest. Good luck. You have an excellent channel. And until next time, peace.